We're going to start with Harmonai, CJ Carr. He's a great demo. So thanks for coming. Enjoy.
Thanks, Bill. I'm CJ from Harmonai. I'm also in this AI death metal band called Dotabots, which I'm going to talk about real quick. And before I show you some Harmonai demos of what we're working on latest. We make AI death metal, eliminating humans from music. What does AI death metal sound like? It sounds like this. We use heavy use of neural nets in the music production process. And because of the generative way of making this kind of music, we don't even have to release songs. We can release infinite live streams, like we have here, Relentless Doppelganger, which has been live streaming on YouTube for 4 years. So we're exploring this new art form of like infinite music. But sometimes we're just lazy, we just make songs in our sleep. We come from extreme music. I used to be in a mathcore band. But I realized that there was like a limitation to just working with instruments. And so this brought me to neural synthesis. So neural synthesis is the new way to synthesize audio. In the past, there have been additive synthesis, subtractive synthesis, granular synthesis, and this has made all the beautiful, amazing electronic music that we've been listening to for decades and decades. But neural synthesis is just like super powerful because it's based on machine learning. So you give it some corpus of music or audio to learn from, and it's kind of like silly putty, and it's new, and like the hardware to even do it is like ramping up. So it's kind of slow and expensive to do it right now, but like other companies like Cosmo have been creating these that can run on the CPU and even in a VST. So how does it work? Raw audio is a sequence of amplitudes. That's just what a wave file looks like. And so any machine learning model that works with sequences, that can predict a sequence, just like GPT predicts language moving forward in time, you can use similar models on audio. And the past is predicting what the future will be. And you just run this process, and that's how you can have infinite generating. And a model architecture might look like this. And here's a very early example that we did 6 years ago, training a very large LSTM net on Kurt Cobain's acapellas. Okay. So just for clarification, we trained this model on like the acapellas from Nirvana, and a whole bunch of Kurt Cobain singing. And the first thing it generated, it wasn't noise or silence. It was him screaming Jesus. And we kind of had mixed feelings about this. It was kind of like ridiculous. So being in a normal band, this is kind of your tech stack, guitars, amps. But being in an AI band, this is your tech stack. You're using an SSH and a terminal to connect to the cloud. You're running Python code with Theano and PyTorch, and streaming audio using FFmpeg. And you're borrowing code from GitHub. So it's a totally different way to make music, but we love it. We started with a Bandcamp, just creating neural AI remixes of music that we loved. For example, here's Deep the Beatles. This was trained on a bunch of Beatles hits. And we take you through the process of what it sounds like to train a neural net. So it's actually pretty beautiful to hear it grow from nothing. So in the beginning, it's just noise. And then after a couple days, you start hearing some sounds. Right? Like it's like an engine trying to start, but not quite a song. But then after a week of training, you might hear this.
crazy. Like you can hear like Paul and Lennon, you hear guitar, drums, all the instruments are there. But it's not really keeping a tempo. It's very warbly. It sounds like a drunken wonk. But actually, that's pretty cool. Your intention doesn't always have to be imitation. Actually, I think imitation's not even all that interesting. I think it's interesting what it does wrong and what new art forms you can do with it. So we were just releasing this as Bandcamp albums. For some reason, critics were like considering this to be real music. So what we did was try to, instead of just publishing raw results, like what if we curated this into actual listening experiences? So we did this with a black metal, one of our favorite black metal records, and it went viral as one of the first pure neural synthesis albums to ever exist. And here is the needle drop listening to it.
That's That's really weird. It makes me smile because I'm actually kind of amazed by it. It obviously doesn't sound like much and is not that inspiring from a compositional standpoint, but the aesthetic is there. I mean, it's
To pass the black metal Turing test. We have a YouTube channel where we just experiment with all kinds of things.